gonna get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you, I'll piss you off shortly. Hey, mama, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. Hey. I'm sorry. Every time I hear that intro, I just get super hyped. I think that was like the best thing I've created in my life.
It is really, really good. And for a guy who doesn't have a whole lot of experience, you turned it around quick and blew me away.
I appreciate that. You know, I tried to just take in the youthful me, the teenage me, and see what I can do. It's been fun, especially doing a lot of this. And it's been teaching me a lot about like business and entrepreneurship, and just being creative. I've always sat at home and think about like at TV and like how they produce things, and like if they would have did this or what they could have put into this scene and make it better. So to actually do it myself, it's a lot that goes into it. Super a lot. And definitely kudos, and I'd take inspiration from you, Joe, because I don't know as many podcasts we have in the CMG family. Like we were just talking about this, like you are there on it.
We're at 23 shows.
Yes.
And we're closing in on possibly being able to run 24 hours of original programming every single day. And each day we'll have both a sports show and a non-sports show release every single day. So making some moves, making it happen. And I got to tell you, you've been one of those, some of the newer people on the network have been outstanding. And are
definitely
so all in. You got to give a big shout out to the ladies at Ivy League Murder, Sarah and Laura. Not only are they constantly recruiting new people onto the network, but they're always weighing in and always sharing and spreading the love. So we certainly appreciate that.
Definitely. I appreciate them. They motivate me to keep going. And then I know a podcast that a part of the family, You Don't Know Jack, covering all of Jack. I'm about to miss up Jack Nicholson's career and just highlighting Jack Nicholson. And then to find out that his daughter started following. So I'm super hyped. Like, You Don't Know Jack, he's probably my favorite Joker of all time. Grew up watching that. So the best. So I'm super excited for that. So you guys make sure you guys check out clovercrestmedia.com. And check out the whole family on the CMG podcast or network. Podcasts, live shows, we're all here. And then of course stop by clovercrestmedia.com/I'll Piss You Off Shortly. And you can see all of our episodes here. I know it's been a while too, Joe. It feels like we've been gone for a while. It's been 2 solid weeks since we've had power. Without power or something like that.
The whole, it's so funny. I had a whole bunch of shows sitting on my desktop, lost power. Power came back on shortly thereafter. So I didn't have it as bad as most people, but I have 2 internets.
Mm-hmm.
I have upstairs internet, which is garbage. It's for my family, and downstairs, which is for the business.
Yep.
This one is the one that didn't come back on. And as a matter of fact, it's been on now for a couple days. I just got a text this morning from Cox that they're working on it.
Jeez, I get it. Oh. So they're behind their own self.
They have no idea what they're doing.
They don't even know. They're just like, yeah, we'll be there shortly. Well, thanks.
Keep up the good work, fellas.
High five. I know you guys are going crazy. I remember this time last week we were sitting there texting each other, going back whether or not we were going to actually air or not. And here I am mobbing through the streets, ducking and dodging on my BMX bike, which I'm getting pretty good at by chance, but ducking and dodging trees. And I remember showing you some pictures. It was a madhouse for anybody that's not familiar what we're talking about. Hurricane Isaias something. I can't even pronounce it. I'm not going to try and murder it. but came through in like windstorm, tornado valley, like all of Connecticut. And especially where we are, just through trees everywhere, power lines. I had a phone line or like a power pole actually on fire.
When did they put that bad boy out? Because you took a pic, you sent me
Yeah,
video, and then like 2 days later, I think you were like, "It's still there.
it's still there.
It's still burning." And there's a
So
policeman sitting there with a spotlight, so everyone can see that moment when it blows up.
exactly. So I'm super scared. And then we're just like, all right, what the hell's going on? First of all, first and foremost, I see this smoking pole when I wake up and realize there's no power. So I get on the bike and there's a cop sitting there on the flashlight, sitting there at his car with a flashlight spotlight looking at this pole. This pole is beaming in flames. And then it's just, it kind of starts to die down. So what happened was it started smoking and fire from the inside. And as we started talking to some of the guys, some of the linemen, they were like, yeah, that happens. What happens is it just smokes and fire. So the best thing to do is to just let it burn. And hopefully that it just burns all the way down instead of out. So that's what they were doing. And it worked.
I never liked the word hopefully.
Exactly, but they had it blocked off, and they took all the cops away because they were dispersed everywhere. Because nobody knows how to stop when the stoplights go out. Nobody knows how to just stop and treat it like a four-way intersection in Connecticut. Who would have ever thought? So cops were responding to this. So here's a safety officer, and this in my town. There you have the police officers, and you have like the public safety officers that have cop cars, but they're just pretty much there to be street guards and everything else. So he was like, I don't know. I woke up and they just sent me this address and I came and I guess I got to watch a smoking pole for 12 hours. I didn't feel bad, but I'm like, damn, you got to sit here and watch this pole for 12 hours.
In the morning, it looked like a UFO.
Yeah, super weird.
That's what it looked like. It was pretty cool.
Super, super weird. So I'm glad we have power. I'm glad we are back live in action. I know a lot of people missed us. I missed you guys. I missed just all around being here. There's so much like that happens in the world and the media that you're just like, you miss 1 week and it's like, where did it go? I don't know if I'm going to talk about it or is it even still relevant in that sense. But, here we are nonetheless, and we're here, ready to go, ready to take action. Anything fun happen with you other than the power?
No, not really. No. It's funny. I guess this is funny. I don't take any time off ever. Mm-hmm. And on Wednesday, I couldn't do anything. Just virtually, we were down and there was nothing to do. And my wife was like, why don't you just jump in the pool and drink your face off?
Doesn't sound bad. Did you take her up on office?
That's how I spent my Wednesday. I put my hands aside, and I told everybody I'm checking out for a little bit.
There you go.
I did, and it was great, and I'm glad I did it. I needed it.
There you go. That's like the best. I kind of took a luxury. Danny and Donnie, they went out to beach day with the girlfriends, the girls, and the kids. So I said, I was out on the bike all day, so I can definitely share in that luxury of just, getting away, checking out. Super, super dope. We have the pool. We finally got electricity to the heater. So now we should be able to use the pool a little bit longer, maybe around my birthday. So we have a heater now. The pool chairs that Danielle has been collecting for the past 2 months from Facebook Marketplace, which I don't know. Does your wife have that like a Facebook Marketplace, just like addiction? Like,
Rob, you know how many times a week I get a text message to stop by an address to go pick up something I don't know? I think I told you the story. My wife sent me to pick up a cheese plate from a house, and I went to it, and I get on the guy's porch, and I didn't see a cheese plate, but I did see a decorative piece on the floor, and I thought, I'll just take this. I'll just take this, and I'm wrong. And I went to reach for it. And he came around back and he was like, hey, I've got it over here. And I was like, of course you do.
Of course you do.
But I would have taken that damn thing home because I wasn't going to come back empty-handed.
You can't. And I look at it this way. If you send me somewhere and it's not where you say or the person says it's going to be, then I get to go ahead and take my own luxury and my own, payment as needed in that sense, especially if it doesn't look too well needed.
Sometimes we're getting in the car to go somewhere, say to her mom's. She lives 45 minutes away, and we'll all pack into the car, and she'll say to me, hey, run upstairs to our bathroom and get my green mascara stick. I
The
don't even know what
gr-
that is. I could go upstairs and be looking right at it, and I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know that was it. You
Wouldn't
go
even
get
know.
it. You know what it
Exactly.
is. You
It,
know where it is.
it,
Make this easy on everybody.
every time. Oh, I have the same issue, whether it's her bag, and then it goes, "Oh, go upstairs and get my bag." Which bag? You have a billion bags. And guess what? They all have the equal amount of stuff in them. So I'm sorry, I don't know which one is your Wednesday bag, dear. We'll figure it out eventually, maybe. Or like you said, go get it yourself.
Yeah. Then you bring them the bag, and you're an idiot for bringing the wrong one.
Exactly the wrong bag. That's not the right bag. We would have saved so much headache and trauma if you would have just went and got the bag yourself.
It's
But hey,
a bag. It's a
it,
bag. You said,
it's
get
a
my bag. Is this your bag? Mission accomplished.
oh man, if things could be so simple. But it's all right. You know what I wish would be simple though. Speaking about just simplicity and power, I wish EverSource would go ahead and refund us our money. Because the way they just threw that bill on there so casual, like, hey, this is our delivery fee now. Go ahead, pay us this because we're going to be delivering you all this nice service. And here we are, so many days without power, and they're like, it's not our fault. What do you mean? Stop blaming an act of God. Sorry, I don't believe in God, so you got to come up with something better.
Yeah, really. Seriously, that might work on some people. It's not working on us. Yeah, EverSource really should be ashamed of themselves to
Super.
stick people with a bill and then to have the response that they had to this storm. I mean, come on, guys.
Exactly. Especially when you're like, the delivery fee is to deliver these workers and everything. Well, guess what? You guys should have been hiring. I know I've been looking for a job. Teach me something. I'll go sit there and stand in direct traffic. It's delivering there, it's getting people safely. You guys have done a horrible, horrible job. And I wish other companies were outside. And I guess it's not just on EverSource. And for anybody that's not particular to our first world problems in New England, i.e. Connecticut as well. EverSource, our power company throughout the state, I guess there's like two primary ones. They've gotten into bed with politics, and they've decided to, because our legislation voted on a certain bill or something last year, they decided to dip around the loophole and bill us outrageously because the state decided to primarily go with one company that's supplying this energy. So yeah, EverSource, go fuck yourself. And I hope that the state, I guess Blumenthal and a couple other people are like, hey, yeah, we're going to go ahead and check you guys out because you guys are definitely raping all of us. I know my bill jumped up. My delivery fee went up 300%. I don't know about yours, Joe.
Mine went up, and I second your motion.
So, yeah, you know, there's so many other things that I could be spending this money on, especially when my power, even now, even when it came back on, it was like spotty and everything else. So it's just like, you guys really suck. EverSource, get your shit together. I don't know. I think where I want to go from there. Also, has any kind of side note, I hope everybody's visited I'llPissYouOffShortly.com. I've listened to you guys. I've taken heed to what you guys have said about some of the shirts. And I've put hoodies up. So now if you go to I'llPissYouOffShortly.com, you will see that I have 2 sets of hoodies. Joe, you actually might like one of them. There's a Yup, That's Racist hoodie up there. It's the official. Yeah.
I need that one.
Yep, there's a Yep, That's Racist. We have an official mug. We have an I'll Piss You Off Shortly official sock now. That has Ippy. I actually love the name. So my one of my friends was like, you need to name your mascot, the clown up there. And he was like, why not Ippy? And I was like, I love it. Ippy the mascot. So Ippy socks are officially available with I'll Piss You Off Shortly logo up there. So yeah, I took a couple of the shirts down, but I did add a couple other things, and I think I'm gonna add a couple more things. So be on the lookout for there. If you actually message me tonight and saying that you watched the episode, I will actually directly send you a 20% off code. So all my viewers, all my watchers, go ahead and message me tonight saying what you loved about the episode. And oh yeah, there you go. Yep, that's racist. There's I want to say 4 colors to each hoodie. So and they're all, it's either black, blue, green, or purple.
I like that blue. I don't know,
The blue has like that colorway has like really stuck with me. So like I don't my sister got the I'll pitch you off shortly in the blue, the hoodie, and she saw it, and I low-key was so happy that she got it that way because I wanted to see how it would look in person, and it looks phenomenal. So definitely go, you guys go check that out. Go support your boy so we can keep going every week, every Tuesday night live at 9 p.m. and Wednesday mornings, the audio on any platform that you get your podcast from. And then also, if you follow me on I'll pitch you off shortly, you'll be able to see live videos and also like stories of me doing cool BMX shit. Joe, do you happen to have some footage of that I would love to share with the people? Because some viewers doubted me, so now let's I would love to prove them wrong.
All right, wait, hang on one second.
Oh no, you're good.
I got it. You ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Here we go. All right.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get a nice good video of me flying out, and I'll pitch you off shortly. Nothing but a hoodie. Nothing but a hoodie and maybe some spandex. I don't know. We'll see. Thong's optional.
All right, wait. Here it is. That messed me up. Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Stanley Quarter Park, baby.
Come on, Eversource. You're killing me here.
Oh, this is so funny. It's not funny, but it's so bad. And this is why Eversource and Cox Cable and Xfinity, y'all aren't off the hook either, because my Wi-Fi has been so spotty. But anyways, that's what we're watching. Oh, here we go. Hopefully we'll see something. I tried. Oh, here we go. So here I'm coming around for those that aren't watching the video. There's like a nice and here we come flying out, baby, live in action. Oh yeah, let's go, baby. So for all y'all that want to doubt me, come on, we got live action right here, baby. I learned that in about a day and a half. I'm so proud of myself. I can actually like get some good air. I tried to like do like a touch my top bar and then like do a little like tire touch, and then I like landed super hard on my heel. So it's like, I'm down for a couple days, but I'm out here. Oh,
you want number two?
Oh yeah, let's go over number two. Show you busters out here that I'm serious about this. It's just not out here. Oh yeah. Here we go. That reminds you, about a month ago, I couldn't have did this. I would have never thought about doing this.
Man, that's very impressive.
Not too bad for a 30-plus-year-old guy.
That is very impressive.
Not too shabby. So I'm taking pride of it. It's been like, it's been better than me wasting $10 a month at every gym that I've signed up for, and they literally get me for a year because I go into the gym twice and then life takes over and I'm stuck paying monthly fees. So thank you. The little investment of the BMX bike and the enjoyment of a 5-year-old has helped me shed 30 plus pounds. I'd say about that, maybe like 20 plus pounds, but still, we're out here living a life and living healthy and doing cool shit while we're at it.
That is great.
Shit.
Very impressive, sir.
Well, thank you. So, something else impressive that I found this week. So I was scrolling, doing my little Facebook usual, and I came across a video, and this is super, super funny. I think this might have been on Twitter, but anyways, it's a video of a 4-year-old, or it has to be like a toddler. I don't even want to say 4-year-old. It has to be younger than 4-year-old. And the kid is literally on a tablet. And I can see that the kid is on YouTube. You see that the kid's on YouTube. And I think it's their aunt. The aunt is literally trying to like call and just FaceTime the kid. It's like, it's trying to say hi. This kid is just like, nope. Answer, and like literally hangs up on the aunt. And it's like, no, I'm going to get back to my YouTube. I found this so funny because I thought Donnie was like the only kid that did this. But apparently this is like a whole thing where kids are super smart and they know how to just ignore the hell out of us. Just because. Yeah. I thought this was the funniest video in the world. So I kind of had to just share it with everybody. And I kind of want to know what like your reaction would be if you've experienced this.
Hi, baby.
The poor kid, not even a poor kid, the poor aunt's trying to get through. And the kid's like, yeah, nope. Like enough's enough.
I love that. My kids do that all the time. Anytime I get my kids, I tell them, like, if I get a text message, you got to show it to me. It's really important. They get it, and they just get out of here.
Just forget about it. And it's so bad. So one of my how can I put this? My extracurricular guy. I will go and text him, and I'll be like, hey, man, 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, like now you're super inconveniencing me. I'm trying to, stop by and see you while, fit you in. And he's like, hey, man, I'm sorry. My daughter had my phone. Dude, I don't think that's the phone that your daughter should have in her possession, brother. Like, let's get this better. Well, oh man, and even Donnie, so I'm so glad now. Like, I know when Donnie has Danielle's phone because it rings all the way just before voicemail, and he picks up and he goes, Daddy, I'm doing whatever, but I guess I'll bring you to Mom. I guess I'll give Mommy the phone.
Well, that's cool.
Like, you guess? I guess you better before I beat your ass, I guess.
It's better than the alternative. Just put you straight through to voicemail. Yeah.
I don't even think anybody has voicemail anymore. That's the sad part. I know I don't. I think it just has the automated thing, and it's been full for 2 years.
I record a new message about every 3 or 4 days.
Oh, see, okay, see, you're good on it.
Even voicemail still.
See, I feel like if you don't leave a voicemail after a missed call, it's not important. So I don't get a lot of voicemails, so I just don't take them as important.
Well, that's why I want them to know in my message how important it is that they leave a message, or I will not call you back.
See,
so
there you go.
State your case now after the beep.
Beep.
Yeah.
Talking about voicemails, I have a voicemail set up for I'll piss you off shortly. I don't know if we've talked about that.
No.
So attention, listeners, attention. I'm gonna have to put it in the description, or I can just find my phone now. So you guys, because that would be great marketing, right, Rob? So I came up with this great idea for I'll piss you off shortly, listeners, because I definitely can't go through. Not to say that I can't, but I'm definitely that guy that if I go through my phone. Well, first and foremost, I get tagged in so much stuff, and I probably get a couple text messages throughout every hour. So I'm horrible at texting back. So I apologize for anybody that messages me, and then we might get into a conversation, and then I respond 2 or 3 hours later. I'm horrible at that. So what I decided to do was I made a voicemail strictly just for our listeners, because I've had quite a couple people message me, and we get into good conversations, and then it kind of dies off. Go ahead, leave a voicemail, and there will be a point-in segment, especially when I get this piece of equipment within the next week or so. We will be able to call. And what I would like to do is 1 or 2 voicemails, play them off, especially if it's a good question or whatever. Call them and then talk about it. Maybe towards the end of the segment, and get some active engagements. Or if it's a good question or statement, we can play it live, and go from there. What do you think?
It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all.
Ooh,
let people get interactive.
Exactly.
We shouldn't be the only ones pissing people off. Let's get everybody in on this.
And what's funny is everybody goes, well, not everybody. I've had 2 people recently say, you can't piss people off. You're part of the problem. I actually made a post about it. And that's the whole point. Obviously I pissed you off enough that you decided not to even listen. It's called I'll piss you off shortly, because there's so many different things and so many different ways I'll piss you off, but we're talking about change with most of it. So if you're just mad because I call it I'll piss you off, then you're probably part of the problem.
I want to hear solutions that I want to hear.
Exactly. That only fit me.
I don't want to have an uncomfortable conversation. Can we just forget racism ever existed? We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Cool now, right?
Just let it go. But anyway, so if you want to leave comments and questions pertaining to things like that, go ahead and call 860-342-8711. And I promise you guys, once again, that's 860-342-8711. text, leave a voicemail. If you call it, I'm not going to get it because I put that thing on do not disturb because I don't want people just calling me and my phone ringing. But leave a voicemail, leave a text, 860-342-8711. The I'll Piss You Off Shortly line, which I guess used to be a used car dealer line, because I'm still getting a couple texts asking about stock numbers, and I haven't had the audacity or balls to kind of let them know yet. I want to do it like kind of cleverly. I think that might be like one of our first little segments with the hotline. See where we can go from there.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, who knows? So that's what we've been working on a little bit with I'll Piss You Off Shortly. Within the time frame that, you know, I've missed you guys in the past week. So further than that, I guess it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. I honestly, there's so much stuff that's come up from Santa Clarita, that their dumbass police department, to Biden announcing Kamala, to the George Floyd leak footage, which I think we'll start there. I at first I kind of wanted to spend a good amount of time on there, but as I elaborated on this video a little bit more and dug into it, I don't think I need to spend as much time because I'm starting to see that even conservatives, which is another point, I think I go hard on the name conservatives. So I think I have to separate conservatives and bigots, because, and I say that because a lot of conservatives are like, man, Rob, we love what you're saying, but you're just coming at us super, super hard. We don't fully agree with everything. So I don't know if I go, I don't know how to separate. Do I call conservatives I like? Because there's a bunch of conservatives I like. Just keep calling them conservatives, and then like conservatives that are super far right, just bigots, because that's really kind of where I feel they are. I don't know.
When women say all men are pigs,
Mm-hmm.
if you feel the need to be like, well, I'm not one of those guys, then there's something wrong with you. And I would say the same thing to those conservatives. Look, I was one for a long time. Mm-hmm. It became too much for me to bear. I felt like the racism in the conservative movement was pretty much out in the open, and again, I'm not saying that made me racist or that anyone that's a conservative is a racist, but they're not even hiding it anymore.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry to say, I just couldn't get behind that anymore. I just couldn't.
So, you know, and now that you kind of put it that way, you're right. And yeah, if you're still behind a lot of those values and stuff, I agree that you're still falling and missing the point. So you're right. So I think
look,
with that,
anybody who watches this video, Rob, I remember there was talk about, well, you didn't see what happened leading up to his arrest. Well, now we have, and it was nothing.
Well, now exactly,
literally nothing. He was like, please, just don't shoot me. I don't want to get shot. And instead of shooting him, they killed him anyway.
And that's exactly where I was going with it. This literally fell down to horrible training, police training. First and foremost, if it's that big of a scene, just the fact that they've had a whole block, they took a whole intersection from the point of there are other two people. They didn't even detain them. They just sat there and questioned them. Like, you guys don't play, everybody's like, oh, but they didn't know who he was. Yes, you were. They knew. They sat in the cop car. They figured out who the hell he was. They came out guns drawn. So much wrong with the training. And then when the sergeant gets over there, he doesn't even make anything any better. So going to the point of, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, well, he was resisting arrest. If he was, in that small Explorer, he could have been, he would have been fine in the back of the car. Well, I'm sorry. If anybody's been in the back of a cop car, that shit's not fun. If you've had that traumatic experience, yes, you're going to feel a certain type of way. He wasn't fighting the officers. The officers weren't even making sense of why they were arresting him or why they were detaining him. So it's like, and at that point, from what I understand, they didn't even have the full proof of the fake $20 bill. It was just an allegation at that point. So, and also they were, from what I understand, the officer said that they approached him that way because of his past. So if you're already having that that prejudgment and already having that that scared tactics towards you, or what I'm trying to find the right words, but I can't. But anyways, if you're already acting that way towards them, that prejudice towards them, yeah, there's an issue. There's certain ways to go about it. Yes, he was high on fentanyl. Yes, he was, whatever else he was using. But guess what? Those other two people that we see even right now, those that are watching, they didn't even treat them with that same. So it makes you wonder, like, what really was up with it, and what I'm not gonna say it was racially. It wasn't necessarily a racial thing. Will I say that? No, but I will say I wouldn't say it's a blatant racist thing. Systematic racism, yes. Straight out stereotyping, yes. So much wrong with it. So much I wish that they would have had better training on. Even the way that they're carrying him, you're not going to carry that big of a guy across the street in a non-secure area, non-secure environment. Just horrible training from these guys. Horrible delivery, even from the way they put them into the police car. Like, there's so many different ways. Like, I wanted, like, try and I guess where I'm struggling is I'm trying to put this in words that I feel like everybody will understand instead of geeking out and going military, and like using military terminology. But I think of, like, even when we had to detain certain individuals in high activity areas when I was deployed, like, there were certain ways that we went about it. And if we have I say this all the time, if we have a higher expectation of how we handle detainees and actually war criminals, what does that say about this? Like, we treat war criminals and detainees way better overseas while at war than we do our own American citizens, no matter what their past is. The past is their past. Once you serve your time, what should that matter? I don't know.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
So, I want everybody just to, I kind of don't want the George Floyd thing to always just take precedence and go back to, because there's so many more individuals that have lost their lives to senseless and unhumane acts of the police department. But at the same time, the footage is here. We've seen it. We know the story. It's super unfortunate. And I really hope that everybody gets what's coming to them with this video, point blank, period.
Well, this is, again, more proof, though, that the police are willing to lie when it suits them. They had this video. They said this video showed something that it doesn't show. And, I think that's really problematic in the grand scheme of things. What did the police think was going to happen? They think we were never going to see this?
I think they kind of did. I think that they were hoping that it was just going to get kind of just pushed away. And this was still off of a leak, if I'm not mistaken. It was still off of a leak. I think that they were hoping that they would be able to go through the elections and all this other stuff before they really had to push it, and it would have kind of died down. Imagine how the change would have been if this actually came out a lot earlier. I wonder if the protests and the riots would have been as volatile or as big as they were. This also shows a lot that it wasn't necessarily, I'll say, like, the racial way that the media portrayed it to be off rip.
Listen, my thought, Rob, is police brutality is an all lives matter situation.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, in that it really does affect everybody. And nobody should be a bootlicker like, well, if you do what they say, because we see time and time again, whether you're white, you're black, or any other race, sometimes these guys, for no good reason, and we know the overwhelming majority of these guys do a good job, put their life on the line, and we appreciate them, but there are some stone-cold a-holes on these police forces, and as long as you're going to defend these guys and protect these guys and lie about what the videotape shows, you're going to continue to have a problem. I think it's incumbent on the police to be the ones to stop the police brutality and to patch up the relationships that they've caused to be strained, and it's not the other way around. The people are tired of it. Everybody should be tired of this.
Exactly. And that's the point that, I think that it proves, and hopefully they can use this as future training. It proves that the training that rookies get is not equipped enough for this kind of situation. They don't know. These rookies look lost. They're looking at each other like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we, so it's just like it shows more of the just failure of the police system and the justice system. So hopefully this video will present so much more better outcomes and training and the police force and just overall police brutality.
Do you mind if I take a liberty right now?
Go ahead.
You know how much I love Barney style.
Yes.
And I feel like this is a really important one. Defunding the police. What does that mean? Who are you going to call when there's no police officers, Rob? Well, good news. The police still. Defunding the police simply means reallocating or redirecting funding away from the police department to other governmental agencies funded by the local municipality. So that in some situations, maybe where there's domestic violence, rather than sending a super racist cop over who's ready to shoot somebody, you send over a counselor.
A counselor, yeah. Imagine.
These are things police have complained about having to do, and we're simply saying, you know what? Yeah, you guys are asked to do things that police officers shouldn't do. We're going to fund some of these programs so that we take this off your hands and make your life easier. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Imagine if you had a substance abuse counselor along with, hey, instead of a gun, let me have a substance abuse counselor. Okay, Mr. Floyd, let's figure out what the hell we're on. Okay, we've gotten that situated. Now you guys can go ahead and take him away. And that, there's a lot of people that says, oh, you can't always guarantee every situation. No, you can always keep control of that situation. Once you understand what's going on, there's a lot different ways that you can take that approach. So defunding the police, perfect example. Defund, put that money into some other counselors. You'll see exactly what a better outcome. And yes, that simple.
It is that simple. That's all it is.
It is.
And I know there's at least one person watching right now, and I'm glad that he is. And we've talked about what defunding the police is, and I can't be any more clear about it. Nobody wants to make the policeman go away. We just want them to stop bashing people's skulls in for no reason. That's it. And I don't think that's asking a lot. And again, the idea of defunding just goes to say, look, there's certain things that you guys shouldn't be involved in it. There's no reason for it. You're not trained for it. So get the right people there.
Exactly. Plain and simple. And I think we'll leave that at that, because that's, I think once we can kind of understand more and understand what defunding the police is and actually kind of get behind it and understand that there's so many different outlets out there, we can actually build a better department. And it's not just about having a nightstick and a gun and a badge. Imagine being able to go somewhere and be able to talk peacefully to somebody with your own mentality. You know how many cops, before we get off the situation, I've talked to so many cops that say, if you're able to, you can judge a cop by how they enter a situation. If they're able to de-escalate something within 5 minutes without even having to act like they're going to, take somebody away or give any kind of threatening demeanor, look at their record. They are one of those cops that really know how to police. There's a difference between being a cop and police. If you want to be a cop, that's the cop that, that's the person that just wants to, always harass somebody and lock somebody up. But somebody that polices, somebody that's going to be a civil servant that polices their area, their town, their city, and knows that. So I said, that's a better way to look at it. And that's coming from a cop, a Hartford PD, officer himself.
Well, I've also heard this assertion that cops are quitting the police force in droves, and turns out that's actually true. And as it turns out, though, that the people who are actually quitting are the guys who have had a record of misbehavior, and they know that their day is coming, and they're getting out now. And I say, good riddance.
Good riddance. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hey, and that just means you're scared that you can't go along with the bad things that you were trying to do or doing before. So if you're scared of, your tactics, that means, once again, you are part of the problem. Get the fuck on. We're not going to miss you. Keep going. Now what I do, kind of on this aspect, what I don't agree with now, and I know this is going to get kind of crazy, with the things that are going on in Chicago. For those that don't know, because of these videos, the video coming out of George Floyd and the full video, the riots have definitely sparked up, and I will say riots, from the looting, the burning. I saw a video today. A guy that I watch a lot of his dirt bike. He does Chicago Eats, so he takes his dirt bike and rides around all of Chicago, and does finds different like local spots to eat, mom and pop spots or whatever. But instead of doing a regular Eats episode, he went around on his dirt bike downtown Chicago, and holy war zone! It is a fucking war zone out there, from cars burnt. Like, there's no safe police cruiser out there. All those cruisers are burnt to the crisp. Built, just businesses destroyed, and it hurts because I don't know what they're fighting for now, what they're writing for now. And I get it. Well, I get that that's a city in pain. But when you look at that city, and when you look at Chicago, they put a lot of the pain on themselves. And not even to say they put a lot of the pain on themselves, and that sounds so bad. But I guess what I'm trying to get at, before you start rioting and terrorizing your city, police yourselves first. Chicago has always been one of those cities that has had a high murderous rate. We can look back to how, thriving in the early 1960s and early 1950s, 40s, Chicago was, especially in the south side of Chicago. But then I want to say the 1960s riots, 68, I want to say that happened. That really diminished a lot of the south side of Chicago. And I have family members, so please, if you guys are watching, I know I have a couple of uncles that usually watch. Correct me when I'm wrong, but it's nasty out there. So when you're growing up in Chicago and you're living in these environments, and you're no longer protesting, but you're just blatantly fucking up the city, it makes it hard for us that are really wanting change. There's a video. I don't know. We'll pick one of the videos. Let's start there. I have so many videos of just the madness. Like that, it's so tough. All right. And I'm smiling right now because part of me is like, you probably deserve that shit. You look like one of those cops that fucking, but then at the same time, it's like, enough's enough. I don't, am I to say that he deserved it? No. Am I saying, like, should that have happened? I don't know. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm struggling as a black man that's not from Chicago. That's like, what are we still fighting for? And you guys are like, now it seems like you're antagonizing, and you're pushing buttons that are beyond what's necessary.
Yeah, look, I think we all want to see this come to a resolution sooner than later. And I think, going on, where we had about 70 days after this all started,
Mm-hmm.
The idea that it's still happening. Nobody wants to see the police being assaulted. But just the same, the one cop gets hit, and so let's go bash some skulls in again. I don't know that that's the right response. And I'm not, you just said it. I don't know why they're antagonizing the police. Sometimes I look at the Israeli Palestinian conflict, and I think, when there's people throwing rocks at soldiers with AK-47s, and eventually those soldiers start shooting back, Are you surprised by that? So,
It-
you know, I understand that these people are angry that there's been a lot of oppression in this city, you know, and I for a long time, I would point to Chicago as democratic failure. Now I
Mhm.
point to Chicago as simply gang violence that's out of control. All of the murders in Chicago are all gang related. It's
Mhm.
really unfortunate. If you look at the worst cities in America for crime, it's cities where you have high gang
High gang.
influences. And that's really what it is. And I know people are, oh, what about Chicago? Well, that's a gang problem. That's something that certainly needs to be fixed. The FBI really should have been working on that for years now anyway, to break up these gangs. But here's the crazy part. Where do you think the people in Chicago, with the strictest gun laws in the country, where do you think they're getting these guns to do these drive-by shootings? Next
Yep.
door in
In
Indiana,
Indiana.
where the gun laws are pretty much non-existent.
Mhm.
So those are the ramifications for being able to buy guns at Walmart. Is I could go to Indiana, buy a gun, and then drive to Chicago, and guess what I have in Chicago? A gun.
A
That's how
gun,
it works.
exactly. And for you idiots, for you bigots that think that, oh, we can just go in Chicago and shoot some shit up. Okay, I wish you would. Go ahead and think that you're going to go in the south side of Chicago and not have a fucking war zone on your hands. Those guys got bigger guns than I can even think of. So it's one of those things where it's super bad. And I'm just like, dude, if there's going to be a fight, if there's going to be a fight for Chicago, if there's going to be all this, fight within. And when I say don't go have a war zone, but these guys that are out here killing kids, that are, you know, that are out here, you know, aimlessly just shooting people and making this life, mob these people first. And then let's go ahead and take care of everything else. You know how you dismantle all this other shit? Stop electing idiots. You know, just because they're fucking Democrats doesn't mean that they're the best person to be in fucking office. I think Democrats have ran Chicago for the past 9 decades, if I'm not mistaken. And that's another thing. Like, not to say that go to Republicans, make a different fucking party. Start sticking up for yourself, Chicago. Like it's like you can't throw stones if you live in a glass house. And for right now, Chicago's a big ass fucking glass house, and they're throwing hell of fucking stones. And it's sad to see. Like, I get it. You guys are angry. There's so much going on. And I wish that there was somebody that other like youthful connections that I had out there to understand. But here I am looking at videos of a guy on Instagram on his live breaking into an ATM talking about, I'm getting off. I'm getting off. Oh, I'm coming up. Like, are you serious? So it's just like it's way beyond the true protest and way beyond that. Like, y'all, it's disgusting. That point is disgusting. And of course, I know I piss a lot of you guys off by even, why are you saying this? You can't be saying this in front of, everybody else. Well, yeah, I'm saying this because it needs to be said. Like, where does it stop? Who's going to be the person that anybody listens to? Like, I'm to the point where it's just like, even in Portland and all the other shit, like, what are we still riding for? All right, George Floyd. He's all those officers are either locked up or going pending trial. Shit, Breonna Taylor, we haven't even heard anything about, other than they recreating scenes and trying to figure out all that shit. So that shit show. So what are y'all really protesting for? There's so many other things out here, but you guys are losing what the voice is supposed to be about.
Here's a white guy observation in all this, right? I feel like for the most part, most Americans are like, look, I support the protest. It's your First Amendment right. I believe racism's a problem in this country. I don't support the rioters and the looters, right? And it's gotten to a point where I think most people are like, yeah, everybody should be treated equal. I think most people are there. So again, these riots almost seem to be antagonizing even the American population that are like, well, that's all these are now is riots. And again, it sort of takes the focus off what was actually being done in the first place. And that's a real shame because, conservative media is going to point to it, be like, look what they're doing now. They just want to break stuff and destroy America. And at some point, people are going to start, buying into that rhetoric. And it's so wrong. But, I'm waiting for BLM and I don't necessarily just mean the organization, but the movement. I'd love to see Killer Mike step up on a stage somewhere and talk about what the next step's going to be. How do we stop? How do we stop the protest? What would appease this Black Lives movement? How could we stop this? Hit the pause button and work to fix things. And I told you this before, as far as Colin Kaepernick's concerned. I went out on a limb on a white radio station, was like, guys, let's just hear what he has to say. And I got some backlash for it. I'm glad I did it. And as it turns out, we should have been listening to them at that point, and we didn't. And so now here we are. But again, I think this is a golden opportunity where somebody in Black America has to step up and sort of take charge of this. Obama, looking in your direction, you're free. Somebody I think has to step up and start that national dialogue of like, all right, most of you are with us now. We've got your attention.
Exactly.
Here's how we fix it. And I think most of white America, if it's reasonable, not restitution though, Rob, they hate that. But if there's some way to resolve the situation, I think most people at this point honestly want to do that.
I think so. I think so too. And hopefully, we can start getting people on the train, and hopefully they don't start getting Jesus. That was the perfect comment. I was going to bring it in. As Devon just said, probably can start arresting the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. That's perfect. It was funny because I was leading into Breonna Taylor, and then took right out there. You're reading. You're right there. But that's what I'm saying. Start putting that energy into something that actually thrives right now. That actually needs something. Okay, not to say that George Floyd is over and done with, but sorry, Breonna Taylor is way more important right now. We need to start arresting those cops, bringing justice to those idiots, to those murderers, and go forth from there. Start putting that energy into something different. And that's why I like personally my energy. And everybody's like, oh, well, why don't you do something? And I think that I try to with Yep, That's Racist. I think that that's my equivalent. I don't have a big platform. I don't have a huge following, but I use Yep, That's Racist to go ahead and show proof to these bigots and to those conservatives that feel like, well, these things really don't happen in life, and what you guys are talking about really isn't true. So imagine feeling like that, but then living in a town where being a white person holding a Black Lives Matter sign, you get called a nigger, you get called everything else but a white American that's an ally. Let's look at this video. I think it's called Racist. I'll call this Racist Drive. You're
a white man. Crazy.
So what happens is this black guy, this white guy's holding the Black Lives Matter.
I wouldn't say after dark, man. Honestly, dude, you have balls of steel. You could get hospitalized by some guys that want to beat your ass.
I've had several old men come out here, look out the window and tell me, said, you better go tell that nigger to get out of here and shit.
They just told this white guy, this white kid, tell that nigger to get out.
About 10 minutes, I'm going to be back. You better be fucking gone.
Okay, come back.
Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? First and foremost, what are you going to do?
You're a white man.
We matter too.
Motherfucker, you dumb shit.
Are you a Marxist?
Communist. Domestic terrorist.
I want to remind everybody that this is a white guy that's standing outside with a Black Lives Matter sign.
Explain to me why troops fight back. No, they don't.
Real fucking job.
I'm Jesus.
Get out of town. That shit don't make shit here.
Hey, all lives matter, not just black.
So
You're white.
You look like a white guy holding a black gun.
this is the white guy.
Not your shit. You're a white boy. Carrying that stupid sign.
You're white.
Oh, boy.
And I think it's just
How stupid these people.
Yes, sir.
these people are
Because I'm tired of seeing
idiots.
this right here.
I'm tired of seeing this.
It's just
The biggest hoax.
It is.
Black Lives Matter is the biggest hoax.
Man.
Apparently,
this
black people's lives matter more than us.
Apparently.
So the Irish had to
Hey, Mike.
No,
All right.
no, sweetheart, you don't have black friends. You don't have black friends at all. If you say fuck Black Lives Matter, I have black friends. You don't. Your black friends.
You don't.
Your black they hate your guts. I
Yeah,
have
I don't
friends
even.
too that are like, I have gay friends. They know how I feel about it. I'm like, oh, those people hate your guts.
No, you don't.
They don't like you at all.
They
think
absolutely
you're
don't.
garbage. And I mean, look, that's a really good example right there. That video of just how racist this country is. I think anybody who's that touched off by Black Lives Matter, you've got to be racist for that to upset you. You just have to be.
It's not all, it's not that, Black lives only matter. This is it. Simple. Black lives matter. But it has pissed off.
Michael Che does a great bit about Black Lives Matter and how there's people that are opposed to that. And he's like, can we say Black lives exist then? Is that okay to say? Like, exist? Can we go there? Would that
bare
be
minimum.
okay? They matter. They just matter. Again, it's not matter more. It's just matter, period.
Matter.
And that sucks. It sucks that that's where the conversation's starting. Do these people even matter? No.
No.
Really?
You know what? I think it's just to the point now is because I wear my Clan Hunter shirt everywhere, and all my, and that shirt says Black Lives Matter. Nobody says anything to me. I just really think that it's just they have a problem with certain people and they're just going to antagonize. I'm waiting for the day for somebody to have this conversation with me. Like, I'm just waiting. I pray every day, like, can today be the day that I can, meet one of these racists and that we can really have a heart-to-heart conversation about why Black Lives Matter? I don't know, but it doesn't exist here. It doesn't exist in America. But touche. What about this next one? I call this lay of the land racist. And this actually is kind of personal because this was sent to me through somebody in a group, a group. I want to say it's Southeastern Connecticut, Defend Racism. I gotta look it up. But anyways, this happened locally. And this idiot decided to go on a spiel of why Black lives doesn't matter. And once again, this is shot by the guy behind the camera is a white ally. We'll go there. Let's get the video. Once we get the audio going. Can you hear it, Joe?
Can you hear it now?
I can't. So what's going on? I don't want to. I feel like I might be talking over it. This guy has on a landscaping shirt, and apparently, I guess he's been fired. A bunch of people decided to call that number, and he doesn't work there anymore. I wish I knew which hospital. It looks like a hospital that they're in front of.
Is that who you work for? Is this Yale?
I don't know. All right, so we're saying they can't hear. The audience is saying that we can't hear in the comments. It looks like Yale. I gotta see exactly where. All right, so for everybody that can't hear in the comments, I'm just so it was what the video was this guy. He was just I can't remember how it initiated, but I think on his truck he had said Black Lives Matter, and the guy just started going off about how are you white with a Black Lives Matter on your truck, and then saying that Black lives don't matter and blah blah blah. Get that shit out of here. The same racist shit that we hear all the time. I don't remember verbatim what happens with the video, so I won't go ahead and go there. I know the guy that sent it to me. He's like,
I could
damn.
hear the whole thing. I'll tell you exactly what was going on.
Oh, go ahead.
The white guy who didn't like the Black Lives Matter sign got out of his car and ran over and just started freaking out about why a white guy thinks Black Lives Matter when obviously all lives matter. Again, I mean, you know, I saw recently, and I think conservatives will like this. There's a story in the book of Matthew where a shepherd has a flock of 100, and one of them runs off, and the shepherd goes and he saves that one sheep, and the other 99 are like, well, you know, you went after that one. What about us? And he was like, you guys are fine.
Yeah,
the one needed my help, and so I helped him. All lives matter, yes, but right now the lives that we are wondering if they really matter and the people that are asking if their lives matter are the black ones.
Oh, the black ones.
So that's all we're doing here. We're just trying to make black people feel like they matter. And I think that's really, again, as I say, that's kind of starting pretty low. That's a pretty, we should be equal. But it's not even what we're saying. We're like, just, can we matter? Can you be sad when a black person gets killed and stop blaming them for it?
I don't. Can you? Yes, obviously it's been proven. Should you? No, because it's literally what happens to when little girls really start getting kidnapped even more for sexual, human trafficking, and they're like, "Oh, girls' lives matter," or kids, little girls' lives matter. We're like, "Ah, well, every kid's life matter." No, well, guess what? Little girls are being Jeffrey Epstein every fucking day, and y'all are just like, come on now, put the shoe in another. What am I saying? Put the foot in another shoe if it fits. If that's what you need to, if that's what you need to relate it to, or something of that to get it through your head that Black Lives Matter actually matters, then do whatever you need to do.
Well, also the simple logic, and my favorite argument to it is all lives can't matter if black lives don't.
Very true. Very simple. Right there.
Dumbasses.
So now we'll go to another dumbass. And at first, this person works my nerves. So we'll call this the work my nerves racist. And these racists are the ones that these Karens, I'll say, are the ones that are really starting to irritate the shit out of me, because they like to bother the working class citizen that just, I don't like. This person's out here making $1 an honest living, and you're literally dogging this person.
The link is broken.
Oh, okay. Well, so we'll just go ahead and then bless everybody else. Do we have their other one, detaining racist?
We also do not. It's funny. It seems like this. It seems some of these racist videos don't stick around for long, and I'm not sure who's getting them pulled down. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a secondary link from the original, also taken down.
Jeez. Okay. Well, I guess we see what's going on there. It must be nice to have some kind of privilege to, save your soul.
If you want, though, Rob, I bet you I could Google racist video right now and have a brand new one in about 10 seconds.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm down for it. Yeah, I'm ready.
Right.
I know you've gotten something good. And then while we're doing that, I don't know. So somebody did ask me while we're talking about racism. Somebody asked me if a black person could be racist, and I believe we touched this on like the first episode. I honestly don't think. Well, I do think that black people can be racist, but I think it's a different level of racism. And we'll kind of expand on that a little bit because it looks like you found your clip. Hey. Look at that. Look how easy it was to find a racist clip. But racism doesn't exist in America. Jinx. Familiar with Jinx. He's on a couple of shows from a couple different media outlets. Yeah, what's the audio? I don't think we can find the audio. I can't hear it on my end, Joe.
You really don't hear it?
No. You know what? It's all right. So,
well, anyway, that's just one where the black guy started his car and the white lady got super pissed.
Of course.
His engine made a loud sound and her daughter jumped and she starts screaming the N-word because that guy meant to do it, obviously.
Jesus. All right. You know, people are just getting so ridiculous with this, and I don't. People. Like, what scares people about black? Like, is it the 90s, like, TV shows and movies? Is it the rap music? Like, I always just want to ask, like, somebody, like, what really scares you about me? Like, what it scares you about a black person? Like, really. And no, the two racist people that I really talked to, they didn't even have a good answer for me. Because everything that they tried to answer with, I'm like, but I'm not that. And they're like, yeah, but I'm not that. So it's just like, what really scares people about black people? I don't know. I know it's what.
Listen, it's as simple as this, at least in my opinion. I think if you don't know any black people, or if you live in a city where there's a sketchy part of town and you don't know anybody that lives there personally, you make your assumptions, and that's your problem.
You know, and maybe I'm, forgetting maybe the 50+ crowd, but we're in a modern day technology where you're not hidden. Like, black culture isn't hidden anymore. Hell, 95% of TikTok dances are fucking black culture. And guess what? Shit, now I want to say 65% of TikTok users seems like they're 25 and up. Those are the ones I find the most comedic value in anyways. So it's just like, you can't be that scared of black people when it's not like being black is something fucking new.
Yeah, but you know what? I had an interesting conversation with my wife about this the other day. Right? You remember when gangster rap was all the rage in the mid to into the late 90s?
Yep.
And I remember when Snoop Dogg's album came out, I remember seeing white women like bopping out to it, and I thought, the song's like bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. What exactly is it you're celebrating there? But that black culture, in fact, had become white culture because we made it mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a great interview with Ice Cube recently, actually, from that time, where they were like, are you upset that suburban white kids are like acting out your music? And he's like, well, we didn't make that shit for them, so no.
No, yeah.
That's not what this is for, and that's not who the messaging is to. Just because white people hijacked gangster rap, ruined it, and then it ended because of that. Nice job, you guys. Yeah, white people ruined gangster rap. That's what happened. That's why it went down. That's the untold story MTV's never run.
They're gonna ruin nasty rap too. The women nasty rap. Have you heard of the song WAP? The new song WAP.
I only know about this, Rob, because apparently you had this out on Facebook today, and it was relayed to me by my family what that even means. So, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so like, I'm not even mad. So anybody that's unfamiliar with WAP is, WAP stands for wet ass pussy. Yes, I said the P word on air. But yes, this is a song by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. And I'm going to say, I am not mad at the content. I am not mad at the lyrics because I'm from the 90s. I grew up in the 90s. And there's a lot more raunchier songs than that I grew up. I Can Only Put in Your Mouth. I grew up to that, dancing the middle school songs to that. I grew up in BET Uncut days. So this isn't something new. But I will.
Usher's Closer. I mean, the boner song, literally a boner song.
It's just like, I'm not mad at it. I just wish it was a better song. Like, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, I'm not too hyped. Like, I'm 30-something years old, so of course I'm not gonna have the biggest taste in nowadays music. But there were so many other artists that I feel like you guys could have presented this so much better and like so much more potential. I just think it's a bad song, personally. Now, do I want my 6-year-old or 12-year-old listening to Wet, Wet, Wet on the radio? No, but then again, I'm that type of parent that me and my son listen to Pop Smoke unedited, but he understands the things that are coming out, of the radio. I still haven't let Donnie even get a glance of WAP. He was watching YouTube and the algorithm brought him there. And I heard there's some holes in this house and I had to grab the phone. That was like the quickest I've ever grabbed that phone from Donnie. But,
I've never seen the video, but all I could think of is a Sprite commercial, where it's like wet everywhere.
It's just, liminally lime, fresh, refreshing, just wet. It's just wet everywhere. The whole video is just wet. But
you
anyways,
heard about the whole Ben Shapiro dust up, where on Twitter Ben Shapiro, the conservative talk show host, went on and he was bashing that song, and he suggested that maybe there was some sort of vaginal problem that should be looked at if there's extreme moisture. Apparently, his wife is a doctor. And she had to explain what a wet-ass pussy was to him because he had never seen one.
I wonder if the pool boy has.
Yeah, I'm sure someone
She's got
has.
that dap. But
Yeah.
anyways, but it's crazy? How can you be conservative and so pro-Trump, but there's a whole page for Babes for Trump? Look at this. Have you ever seen this page before? It's an IG page. My boy put me on. He goes, I know you're not the biggest Trump fan, but look at this. And I said, okay, what could the Babes for Trump be about? And guess what, everybody? You've guessed it. It is snowing, as me and my boys would say back in the day, all over this page. Bikinis and Trump hats and all the Trump MAGA gear. And I'm not knocking it. If you love this kind of material, Babes for Trump, you guessed it. You could probably think about what's up there. I don't, so you can't be mad at WAP and wet ass pussy. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of WAPs every other page on this, but hey, you know what I do love though? They, as the conservatives, they are equal opportunists. They not only have Babes for Trump, but they have dumps for Trump too. And I'm so proud of them for opening up their mindsets and opening up finally and letting everybody of all ways and life forms enjoy, and the dumps for Trump and the Babes for Trumps. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these dumps for Trump. Look at these two guys shaking their dumps for Trump. Honestly, I think those are better than the WAPs. So just as much as, Cardi and the, as they would say left, because Cardi's super left, likes to party, as we can see here, the right loves to party as well. And talking about parties, I guess we'll kind of get into the meat and potatoes of the parties. Good old Joe has finally decided to listen to me, as I told him a year ago, that he should go ahead and take Kamala Harris and make her his VP. And hey, just hours before, look what happens.
Big celebration in my house tonight for Kamala Harris. Very excited for this pick.
I can tell. I think every other post on my Facebook, I saw your wife, jumping for joy. And I couldn't be more happy. Now,
she just told me she's actually now officially excited for the Biden-Harris ticket. When it was the Biden and TBD, she wasn't feeling it. Now
she wasn't.
Now she's in. Now she's in.
See, I'm all for it now because I put it this way. I was never the biggest fan of Kamala Harris, but now when we think about it, we have two parties. It's down to the wire. We have two choices: this ticket or that ticket. And I'm sorry, I was raised by a black woman. I know what it's like to be living with a black woman, and I am more a believer now that Biden, see, Biden, and that's the thing, Biden doesn't know what it's like to have to answer to a black woman. You're not just, if you think that Biden's just going to be president, no, you're super mistaken. If you're super mistaken, anybody that's in the military would tell you, if you have a black woman leader, that's probably the worst but best leader you'll ever have in your life. I know what it's like, and America be ready. This is a woman that not only she's going to bring accountability to Joe, but not only to him, but to the whole country. And now, not only does she bring accountability, but accountability comes with her. I don't know if everybody's familiar who she is a part of. She is a part of the amazing, luxurious sorority of Alpha Kappa Alpha. And those women do not play. If you know anything about black fraternities and sororities, the women are AKA, they're definitely going to hold her accountable. So I'm excited to see that. I know a bunch of AKAs and they're like, this is going to be the best, most glorious thing in the world, because they apparently have been holding her accountable for so many things and keeping her on the right ledge. Not to mention the Black caucuses that are, show so much support. My brother alone, him being a state representative, and he backs her. So I am more prone to say, okay, cool, Biden, let's see what happens. Because I think it's going to be the Kamala show. And also, I can't wait to see October 7th when Kamala and Pence go head to head on the first and only vice VP debate. So I'm all for this. I don't necessarily agree, but with the cards that I'm dealt, and I'm a spades player, and I know how to fucking pick a book and make a book work with whatever I have. And as a spades player, if it was down to the last fucking 2 books, I would know how to make a book out of Biden and Harris, and that's who I'm voting for. They've got my vote. I was just waiting for them to fucking come out with it.
Yeah, I mean, this was like the no-brainer of the century. I'm laughing about the comment from Trump that he had sort of backed himself into a corner and had to pick, quote, one of those people. Meaning for anybody, how's Trump racist? He meant black women.
One of the black women.
We knew he was going to pick a black woman. We've known this for months. So those people is what racists say. So next time someone asks how's Donald Trump's a racist, serve them up with that one, because that pretty much nailed it. He also suggested, despite the fact 3 out of the 4 candidates that will be running are old white men, that men might be insulted that Biden picked a woman. And a black woman at that, who's also got some Chinese descent. God forbid.
And that's the thing. Like, I hear everybody talking about, oh, well, she's not even African. Her descents are from Jamaica and Asia. I'm like, that is so irrelevant and doesn't even matter whether she was black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian. I don't give a damn. First and foremost, that just shows me how scary you guys are. You guys are super
not
scary.
For nothing.
Like,
think about how many commentators on Fox over the 8 years Obama was in office talked about how he's only half black. Like it was like a good quality about him that he's only half black.
The only good quality about, so it's just like, go shove it up your racist asses. Kamala's coming. I don't necessarily agree with all of her points and views, but she made Kavanaugh cry. She sat there on a stand and made Kavanaugh cry. So if Pence, you think that you're about to go up there and fucking just destroy her, and what did he say? Oh, I can't wait to see her in Utah. I don't give a damn. You want to see her in Utah? You want to see her in Alaska? You want to see her in fucking Timbuktu? Kamala Harris is gonna fuck you up, dude. I like Pence, and they have to be so scared. And that's the thing. All they're gonna go on is her history with marijuana and locking people up in the past. These are all things that we know about. Right. So like this is shit that we already know about. And even to the black people that are the black folk, and I'm seeing y'all out there too. Y'all, I don't want to call y'all idiots, but listen up. She might not be the best person out there, but nobody else has came up with a better idea, and we're only months out. So guess what? We got to work with what we have. And if it's these two being our actual only shot of actually having our voices heard versus an idiot narcissist that refuses to put, put humanity first, I'd rather go with them. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go with Biden and Harris, because at least I know that within whenever they get elected, that my voice is going to be heard and we can actually make some kind of fucking change. So now, for all those that are like, well, I'm not picking them just because, well, you might as well go ahead and vote for Trump and at least vote for him and put a vote in instead of sitting here always just talking and never being about anything. Primaries in Connecticut. I hit up about 6 friends of mine that always complain about both parties. Ask them who they decided to go, and they're registered Dems. Didn't even. So I don't even want to hear anything about that. So if you're out there and all these fucking rallies and all these protests and everything else, and you decide to not go ahead and go into your primaries, you should probably stop protesting and stop talking about anything forever. Just shut the fuck up.
I did my mail-in ballot this week for the primary, and I am still registered Republican, and I did cast my ballot for the other guy. There's actually someone else on the ballot beside Trump, and he might only get 1 vote, and if he does, it was me.
See, and that's what I was trying to tell people. Like, that even if you're a registered Republican, you don't have to vote for him. There's other names on the ticket.
I was looking for any one of them. Any other name was going to be the one I picked.
So many other names. So it's just like, I don't want to hear that, I just got to vote. He's the only person. No. And also for Dems, I don't care if you vote for whoever. Vote. I'm not here to persuade anybody's vote, because I already know who I'm voting for. I'm voting for the black woman. She just happens to be the VP for Biden. I trust that she's gonna whip him into shape, and I trust that America and there's certain people that can hold her accountable. So I trust that system more than I trust Trump's system. That's it. That's my reasoning for vote. You guys go out there and figure out your reasoning for voting. And guess what? I'm voting against a lot of my beliefs. I'm a gun-toting, gun-shooting, pro-abortion, life, whatever you want to call it. I don't know all the perfect terms out there, but guess what? They have my fucking vote, because your life matters, my family's life matters, my protection life matters, and me being black matters. So if I have to vote for the lesser of 2 evils for this one, then that's what I'm going to go for. Now, those that decide to vote for Trump that are like, hey, Rob, I love you, man. You're my fucking brother. I question those people too, because do you really love me? Do you care about all that? Do you care about the possibility of change? Yes, Joe might be a creep. Kamala might want to lock brothers up. But guess what? If you're living life the right way, and if you're, you know what I'm saying? If you really start putting people in those certain positions, you won't really have to worry about the motherfuckers on top. They don't have too much to say. Worry about the people, the filler-ins. So November, stop worrying about what's up top. Worry about those people in the middle. And then next year, guess what? That's where it really starts to matter. I wish that would be another thing, where the elections afterwards, the state and the local elections matter just as much as these national elections, because that would actually make a bigger hold. So imagine being a Republican or a conservative living in Georgia or Texas or any of these other, Florida. And yes, you might have Biden and Harris as a fucking president and VP, but guess what? At least you can still control your state and do whatever the hell you want to in those states. But let our lives and let our voices actually matter too, and stop being just blocked at a wall. Stop just thinking that old conservative such and such has all the right answers, because guess what? Those are the views that mattered back then. These are not those times anymore. So I would rather have 2 people in the chair, a black and a white person that I know that actually can have some kind of clash and have some kind of mixed views, than just one block way that honestly hasn't been good for years, because look where we're at now. I don't know. So, I'm glad that Biden finally decided to do something and finally pick Harris. I wish they would have just stopped bullshitting a long time ago and made this ticket earlier, but hey.
Do you know how you can tell there's a problem in the Republican Party? There are 2 different groups that are actively spending their hard-earned money running advertisements to get Joe Biden elected. Number one being the Lincoln Project, the second being a group simply called Republican Voters Against Trump. Actively can't, I mean, listen, I saw some people earlier today that suggested that Kamala Harris isn't a progressive enough candidate, and that Biden still very much a centrist as well, and that these two aren't as progressive as they'd like them to be. They're still going to vote for him. And this is the difference I see right now between the Democrats and the Republicans. There's large groups now of Republicans that are like, anybody but this wacko. And
Exactly.
I was talking to a really good conservative friend of mine on Sunday on Divided We Stand, and I said to him, "You're not bothered by the fact that there's like a big swelling group of people in your party, and these are people in the know. These are people that have been very involved in the Republican Party for the last 20, 30 years, and they're campaigning for Joe Biden, who's an idiot and a creep."
Yeah. Very much so.
That is telling, and the fact that there's nobody in the Democratic Party paying for advertising against Biden should tell you all you need to know about who's running for president this year, people.
Exactly. I think that hopefully people start to realize that their vote actually counts and it actually matters. Because I was one of those idiots back in the day that was like, oh, well, I need to vote. Well, at this point, your hand is forced. You have to, especially in this day and age. And if you're still of that belief and you can't even start to see what your own party is doing to itself or what he's doing to your own party, then maybe you really have to really dig down and look at yourself, because he's tearing. I mean, I don't even think you can consider it the Republican Party anymore, because it's really not even based off the originality, what their origins are.
This isn't the party that I grew up. I took a lot of pride in being a conservative Republican. I still try to live my life with conservative values. I just don't want to make anyone else live that way. That's not how it works. So I get it, but what I've seen in the last 10 to 12 years went from being compassionate conservatives. I thought we were the good guys, and in the end, what I saw was a bunch of racist white nationalists that really seemed to and this even predates Trump by about 4 years.
Agreed.
It started under Mitt Romney, where there was a lot of hardcore dog whistles about whether Obama belonged here or not, whether he was born in this country,
bullshit.
And look, we all knew what that meant. We all knew what that meant. And Trump was like, screw it. I'm not even going to dog whistle. I'm just going to say it. That's all. I'm out. Bye.
I think, they have something to be scared about. Trumpito has something to be scared about. Old Pence, he's going to get, I see Pence just getting dog drugged at the VP debate.
Look at Mike Pence. Mike Pence thinks that dinosaurs lived with Adam and Eve. Kamala Harris is going to eat him alive and spit his bones out on the stage.
Oh, it's going to be so lovely, and I can't wait. And you know what? And I wonder, and this might be a hot take, I wonder if the Democratic Party actually believes that Biden can actually be a 2-term president, or I wonder if they're using this to set Kamala for the alley. And then here goes Rob's wishing well, Kamala Obama, and when I'm saying Obama, Michelle.
Oh God! All right, listen. Hold on a minute. Let me just say this. I like Michelle Obama a whole lot. I really do. But I made a rule a few years ago.
Okay.
And it's simply this: no more Bushes.
Okay.
No more Clintons, no Obamas, no more Bidens. I'll make an exception in this election, but I would like to see a clean slate of no more ruling. If there's another Bush runs for anything, I'm actively gonna just fight it. I think it's time that we actually nominate people who have achieved something. and
Okay.
not that they're from a wealthy family with connections. I'm done with that. And as much as I love Michelle Obama, if Michelle Obama wants to be the president or vice president in the future, I don't have any problem with that. She's going to have to do what Hillary did and become Secretary of State, get some legislative experience, become governor somewhere. I'm not just going to vote for you because I really respect you and you were there.
Okay.
I voted for Hillary Clinton as much as I didn't like Hillary Clinton because at the end of the day, Senator, Secretary of State, you can't argue with a good resume. That's ultimately why I did it. So if Michelle Obama wants to go knock it out, run for mayor of Chicago or senator from Illinois or wherever they're living these days, great.
Get some
We
experience.
can work to
her.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, I mean, look, I like Kamala Harris. I think she's got great. I think she's got a great resume. Prosecutor, district attorney, attorney general, senator. That's something I could get behind. That's a person who's achieved and worked hard, has earned her spot. And I think unless there's health issues, I think Biden would certainly try to run again. I think it's insane to think anybody, and he'd be the oldest elected president ever, but nobody's only running for one term. I don't think anybody ever goes in thinking that way, but it certainly positions her, if not in the next one, then in the one after that, where she would clearly be the favored candidate. And even if he were to lose in 2024, it would still set her up to be the 2028 presidential candidate. So I think Kamala Harris, I think she's on her way. She's
Agree.
She's in good shape at this point for sure.
She's definitely out of here. I agree. I'm excited. Biden has he's earned my vote. Well, she's earned my vote. Biden, you just happen to be
put it like this. I was concerned that he was going to pick Tim Kaine or some like, oh, no, you didn't. And he didn't. He made a really good choice, and I think it's one that everybody can be really proud of. Rob, I think I've told you this. I was a big John McCain fan. I love John McCain. I think John McCain's one of the greatest Americans of this century. I think that guy sacrificed a lot and gave a lot. And, as much as I liked and respected Obama, I had to vote for John McCain. I've loved that. I actually bought a John McCain hat. I've never bought swag before for a candidate. That's how much I like this guy. He lost, and my wife and I, a few weeks ago, for my daughters, we were playing them great concession speeches. I think his is one of the greatest in the history of America. For a man who had just lost the presidency, something he nearly gave his life for in Vietnam, he went up there and he threw all of his support behind Barack Obama and put to rest any idea of him not being from this country or being a Muslim or that we should hate this guy in any way, shape, or form. And we're watching it and we're bawling our eyes out. And I do remember the night being disappointed, but I also took a lot of solace in what he said and what a huge step it was for this country to have elected our first African-American president. We should feel proud of ourselves, and let's put the fighting behind us, and let's support this guy. That was his beautiful message of the night. And then for 8 years, all they did was shit on the guy every chance they got. But the sentiment was all there, and I respect it.
Hey, it's politics, right? It comes with politics. So look, Kamala and Joe were shitting on each other not too long ago, and now, and I would hope that, because I saw some lingerings that she might denounce it or whatever. But I'm like, I would think that before making a big announcement like that they've had some conversations, and I can only imagine that Kamala's like, all right, Joe, I need to know this, and you ain't gonna be doing this. Like, I can see it now. Kamala's giving him that eye, like, all right, get your shit together, Joe.
I will point this out, and it occurred to me months ago when it happened, when she dropped out of the race. She was very quick to endorse him.
Very quick.
And I can't help but think that might have been, the reason why it wasn't Susan Rice, who I believe Joe Biden's closer with. They obviously worked together in the Obama administration. I think he was leaning towards her, and I think if Kamala had dropped out of the race and continued to bash him, I think things may have been different, but she made a really smart, calculated move to throw her support behind him, and now we get the ticket that I think has the best chance to beat those two clowns.
Definitely. I think I've said that from the beginning, and I'm gonna keep saying it. And I hopefully that they, hopefully I believe that they will pull out from this, better. And we'll see. I just can't wait. Now, Rice is that the one from Michigan? That's not the one from Michigan, is it? The governor from Michigan.
She was
that's the white lady, right?
Susan Rice.
Rice isn't the white lady.
No, black. Rice. Susan Rice was the oh my goodness gracious, UN.
It was
she was
the
UN ambassador.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, I knew Rice was black, but I couldn't remember whether or not she was
Whittemer.
Yeah, White. Okay,
just called her
Whittemer.
Whittemer.
Yeah,
that's funny. Whittemer.
Whittemer. Okay. I don't know why I was confusing them two up. But no, Rice had something to do with Benghazi. I remember reading that up. Earlier.
She came out in the initial days and said that it was just a random random rally, and they were like, no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, look, again, I think that was an unfortunate situation where, and again, I mean, I remember again being very Republican at the time, and watching those hearings, and she didn't really have a whole lot of information because they really, they didn't really know a whole lot there, and I think for anybody who wants, and I'm glad that they've stopped bringing up Benghazi like it's a thing, because Benghazi was not a State Department asset.
Very
it's
true.
A CIA compound.
Yep.
It falls under a completely different jurisdiction than Susan Rice or Hillary Clinton. It's its own separate thing. And for as long as people like Benghazi, I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about. We have no diplomatic missions in Libya.
Yeah.
It's a CIA compound. And everybody in Libya knew what it was.
Exactly.
Nobody didn't know what that building was. It's the only place where there's white people.
Walking all around.
Come on.
Jesus. Oh, man. Okay. So, yeah, never mind. I will recant my dumb statement, what I was going to say about Susan Rice. And just hope that Biden and Harris actually win. There's an actual video. Well, not a video, but there's a video of what I'm going to be dancing like as soon as these two win this ticket. I don't know. Did I send that video to you?
You did.
And I think everybody.
You did, and I just had it, and now I forgot. Oh, here it is. Yeah, all right.
You want to see how I'm going to be dancing?
Here we go.
When Biden wins, you could catch me shaking it. And this lady, she kills it. I got to figure out what the hell's going on. All right, I got my link selection has to get better because you guys can't hear this music that she's bopping to. But I don't even want to call her Karen. I want to say Susie. I wish I knew her name because she definitely has the moves.
Oh man,
she's got the
amazing.
Moves.
Yes,
she's got the moves, and I need everybody to have that energy when it's time to go to the polls in November, and vote, man. Just vote. I can't stress it enough. You can't start complaining, or you can't continuously complain about this country, about this nation, and you haven't put your due diligence. You're literally 10 minutes or hours, which it definitely might be because of voter suppression, but we have to, take that day. I don't care if you have to take that day or, whatever you have to do to go out there and vote in November. So make sure everybody's out there. Damn, Trumpito and Biden. Well, really, Biden and Kamala's taking up a lot of good time. I wanted to get a little bit deeper into things that we can enjoy while we're waiting on the outcome of this presidential election. Netflix has blessed us with a lot of good culture. What was one of your favorite sitcoms growing up?
I was a huge fan, as you can imagine, being a young Republican growing up in a Democratic household. Family Ties.
Okay.
With Michael J. Fox. I wanted to be Alex P. Keaton when I was a boy.
There you go. Okay. All right.
Also, and this is a big part of my personality, was Different Strokes. I wanted to be Arnold Jackson.
Really?
I thought Gary Coleman was the. When I was a kid, man, my dad's got a temper, and my dad had a crappy job, and he was always pissed off. And like, my dad would hit us or whatever, and my dad would be like, "You want some more?" And I swear to God, in my mind, I always just went Arnold Jackson, and like, whatever the funniest thing I could think of was, I'd say it, and I'd get my ass beat some more. But it was
super
always worth
though.
it.
I was just about to say, super worth it.
Always.
Well, I was super excited to learn that pretty much all of my childhood crushes were coming back to Netflix. So now, like, as Danielle gets to go to sleep at night, I can flip on Netflix and watch Moesha. I can watch Girlfriends. I can watch Sister. So yes, Moesha has made it, and I've binge watched that. I've actually through the whole series, and I'm watching it again. August 1st, Netflix has released it, so make sure you guys are watching that. And then I believe coming soon in the next couple of days, The Game. Kind of going back to Moesha, for everybody that's not familiar with Moesha stars R&B singer Brandy as she goes through her teenage / college years with her family. And by the way, as you guys look at that, the dad in there, he's if you look at the times, I mean, of course it was the 90s, but looking at it now, the pops was a really big asshole. He was a horrible dad. So it's so many, it's crazy. If you guys start watching this, I'll start giving some takes. But yeah, going to The Game. The Game is now
met Brandy, by the way.
Oh, have you?
I don't want to make you jealous, but I sure did in 1998. I got a chance to meet her. And
so you met primetime Brandy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I got to tell you real quick. Tatiana Ali from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Was in Connecticut at the All That Music and More Festival, and Tyson Holyfield fight was that night, and whatever she was supposed to do, her plans fell through, and her and her manager were trying to find a place for her to watch the fight, and I invited her to my house.
Oh, did she come?
Rob, they took my address down and everything, like it was happening until it didn't.
Damn.
But it almost did. I almost had her at my house to watch Holyfield Tyson.
How
crazy is
awesome.
that?
Holy shit, that would have been so awesome. That's dope. See, those are good times. See, I had are you familiar with you remember the group Cherish? The do it. I think they were kind of popular.
Yeah.
So they came to Rock and Roll, Vernon Rock and Roll. Doing their little, stuff. And I did a skate competition or a dance competition and absolutely met one of the singers, Fallon. And I, from the talks, and me and her skated around, did all this stuff, gave her our address. I swore up and down she was coming and my mom was going to cook. So literally, long story short, I almost had my mom convinced to go Stop and Shop on the way back because they wanted a home cooked meal, and it never happened. Of course, like as we were pulling in the Stop and Shop, it was, hey, we have to go. I was like, oh, so that's awesome. I would have been so jealous if you had Tatiana Ali.
Oh, dude, it was
like I probably would have wanted to just find if I ever came over your house, like wherever she sat, I need to be. So. But
help me out here too, by the way. I recognize, so I'm looking at the Game picture here, and I know who this gal is. I don't know anybody else, and I don't think I've ever heard of the show.
So The Game was it came on BET, was it out when UPN was out? I think it might have just premiered on BET. But anyways, so The Game. I can't remember if it's Tia. I want to say that's Tamara. I can't remember if it's Tia or Tamara.
Yeah. Okay, that's who
it
is.
So it's one of the Maori twins. I feel bad about it. So what we're looking at, she is a doctor student, and her boyfriend to the right that's holding her is a rookie. It starts off with him his rookie year in the NFL. And then of course, the middle couple is Jason and his wife. Jason has a white wife. She's like the cheerleader, super frugal. Well, they're both super frugal. family, and he's like the quarterback. And then you have, I can't remember his name, but he's like the star running back or quarterback. Anyways, so and it plays off. It has like, I want to say 5 seasons. The show, I think Netflix is releasing 1 through 3 first, and just kind of like their journeys of kind of the sports life, and then like the wives and the moms of the sports world and stuff like that. So it was cool. It was cute. The game, I honestly used to watch it just for the twin, the Mari sister.
Yeah,
Just
it's Tia, by the way.
Yeah,
That
Tia.
is
Okay,
Tia.
there we go. Tia. So I used to watch it for Tia. It had a good, I think it had a good solid, probably 3 seasons. That's probably why Netflix is showing it the last 2 seasons. Somebody's in trouble.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
but other than that, you know, it was cool. But the next one, speaking of the twins, I'm so glad that they are releasing Sister. Now this is Tia and Tamara. They're as sisters growing up as twins, but their parents, they were separated at birth as twins. This is the plot, and them just growing up in Detroit, suburban Detroit, as the father who adopted one set of twin, and the mother adopted the other twin, and now they all live in a house together, and just the many adventures of them and the famous frame "Go Home, Roger," if anybody's familiar with that. So yeah, I love Sister, and more hot girls when I was young.
Wait, are we gonna ignore that Jackie Harry's in that? I mean,
Exact-
my God, she
So-
was amazing. Loved her.
So Jackie Harris was like a stylist, and she had like, I just remember her was just all the amazing clothes in her shop, and then she always had the girls doing like, you know what? She always had them doing the craziest stuff or letting them do the craziest stuff, but teaching them such a valuable lesson afterwards. So it wasn't, you know what I mean, and letting them be, you know, teens and chill, you know, and girls and growing up. So that's what I could appreciate for Sister. Just, you know, just the different life lessons, you know, growing up a couple years younger than them. So yeah.
See, I'm a couple years older than you, and so for me, Jackie Harry was from 227, which
Yes.
was a really
Right.
great TV show.
There
was
you
on,
go.
It was on after the Golden Girls.
Okay.
Which was my jam back in the day. That was a really cool show.
Oh, everybody loves the Golden Girls.
With- Dude, 227 was better. Marla Gibbs was the star of that show. And
Okay.
227, for anybody who doesn't know that show, one of the funniest sitcoms of all time.
Well, that's gonna be me. As I'm literally doing my Googles now, and I can't wait to go. Wow, I am horrible. 1980. Okay, so this was 2 years before me.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. So I'm definitely gonna be looking. Hopefully, Xfinity will not make me buy this, or you know, even if will not buy it, I might rent it. You know, maybe one season. But okay,
You'll love it.
okay,
I'm telling you, that is a hilarious show. And
sweet,
you know, Jackie Harry is a scene stealer in that sitcom.
perfect. Oh, and she, you know, she still doesn't look like she's aged a bit. Black really don't crack, man.
It doesn't.
Oh.
That is definitely something you guys got going for you.
Oh, all that melanin. So,
Amen, by the way, Scott Eric, Amen was also a really great show. That also
Yes.
I think came on after that for a while.
okay.
Great show.
I do remember Amen. I think my aunt used to watch Amen. I do remember that being played. So yeah, okay. All right. And then I guess going with the flow, we have another absolute favorite. Now, this show, Girlfriends. I should not have been watching this. I remember this was late 90s, back when CW UPN was doing like their merger or whatever. But Girlfriends, Tracy Ellis Ross, this is where I first fell in love with her. Like, this is where I fell in love with Black women. I'll say that. My aunt used to not let me watch the show because the content was very, very inappropriate for my age at the time. But the sneak peeks that I would see, especially from watching like Family Matters, I can't remember exactly what it would come on after, and then now growing up watching it, I am a super huge fan of Girlfriends. And as you guys can tell from the title, it's about 4 girlfriends and their life, living together, living separate, and just, you know, the ups, the downs, the joys, the happiness, and really shows what sisterhood and African American culture as Black women should be. So definitely, I would recommend anybody watching Girlfriends. September 11th, that's coming out on Netflix. The Parkers will go with, and that's kind of the spinoff of Moesha, which you see Kim and her mom, Monique, living the college life as mother and sister, community college, Santa Barbara or Santa Monica Community College. Super cool show, super dope. And then we'll go with Half and Half. I didn't watch too much of Half and Half, to be honest, but from what my a couple of my friends say, a couple of women friends of mine, ladies friends say, they say Half and Half was pretty good. And then One on One, which was a good show. I believe One on One was the one where the daughter's father, the dad was a sportscaster or something, like worked for sports news, something like that. And just their trials and tribulations, just living together as a daughter and father combo, which was super dope. I don't remember too much. I know my sister used to watch it a lot. I'm pretty sure I did too, but I think I like Cousin Skeeter better, which I need them to come up back with Cousin Skeeter for anybody that remembers Cousin Skeeter and black sitcoms. But yeah, so shout out to Netflix for definitely bringing culture. You guys check all those out. I think out of the list, I'm probably gonna recheck out 75% of that, maybe 80% of that list. Girlfriends was a more serious version. Yes, that's very hilarious. True. Yes, and Living Single was actually like up there too. So, and if anybody hasn't, so The Wiz also, which since we're kind of on this kick, I'll give this kind of a, I guess 6-man award, not 6-man award, but I don't know. Mark this for later. I don't know what I want to call this. What do we call something that like didn't necessarily make the list, but like
honorable mention?
There we go. Honorable mention. I'm stupid.
That's why I'm here, Rob.
See, there we go.
Remind you of stupid things Joe. You can't remember.
Thank you, Joe. So yes, honorable mention. The Wiz. If anybody is unfamiliar with The Wiz, The Wiz is the black version of The Wizard of Oz, and honestly, hands down, is way better than The Wizard of Oz, production wise, cinematography wise, if that makes sense. Just character wise. You have Michael Jackson as a scarecrow. You have Diana Ross as Dorothy, which she isn't named Dorothy. I can't remember what she's named, but the Lion, the Tin Man. So The Wiz has came up recently. So if you guys, I think it's available, especially like on Xfinity and all these. So definitely check out The Wiz. Do we have like a quick clip? I think it was one of those clips, one of the subway clip. Was that one of the ones that were broken?
You know what? I think I've got that one. Yeah.
Because this clip right here used to scare the shit out of me as a kid when I would watch this movie. Because I don't know why, but like they're running in the subway. Well, I know why they're running in the subway, but I don't know why the actual clip used to scare the shit out of me. So this is the yellow brick road that everybody's talking about. So like throughout the whole movie, you see the yellow brick road. And what they're doing is they're trying to escape and ease on down the road. But like this creepy sound guy with these creepy toys, you'll see, comes out. And then what's even, I think even the pillar, like if you can see the subway pillar with the mirror right there next to the line. If I'm not mistaken, those actually come apart and like come into like little flaily things. Here we go. This creepy guy and his little accordion creepy things.
What's he, like a bird guy?
It's like you're so scared to it. It's bad creepy, and like they get bigger and bigger, and you're like, what the fuck? See a little face, like the creepy faces they have. And by the way, this is pre-bleach Michael Jackson. So like the vocals and everything are on point. And then like they started chasing you.
They
Like,
stayed way too long for that.
I would have been gone.
It was pretty clear something bad was about to happen. Start running.
So, but for all you guys that have never seen The Wiz, I'm putting you up on game. Go check out The Wiz, the better version of The Wizard of Oz. Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, pre-bleach Michael Jackson, by the way. Such a phenomenal production. Have you've seen The Wiz, Joe?
God, yeah.
There
I
we
love
go.
that movie. I was a huge Michael Jackson fan when I was a kid. How could I not see that?
Sweet. So so you guys checked it out. Other than that, hey, damn, we've been kicking for almost 2 hours, Joe.
That's what you wanted to do, and it's seamless. It went. It seemed to go quite well.
And there's so much more, but I think I'm going to save it for episode 6. We still got to talk about Santa Clarita, that horrible police department, and all the nastiness that has happened with their police officers deciding to show up to a crime scene. Well, not a crime scene, but show up to a police call and draw not only assault rifles, but handguns on 3 black kids that were actually needing the help. So, but yeah, there's so much more to talk about. So little time today, but next episode, make sure you guys are checking us out. I'll pitch you off shortly every week, every Tuesday live at 9 p.m. and every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Audio is going to be released. Also, I forgot to do In Rotation, so I'll keep it in with that and the Wiz theme. In Rotation, go check out the Wiz just go check out the whole soundtrack. Beautiful, beautiful soundtrack. That's what's in rotation this week. I've played that a couple times, the whole soundtrack, and you actually see Ease on Down the Road, which is one of my favorite tracks, the title for this episode. Hey, Scott, Eric, appreciate you. We love you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you guys aren't aware of what I'm responding to, if you're listening to this, hey, we are live. So comment, come in, watch us live Tuesdays, once again, 9 p.m. We'll be able to get your comments. Don't forget, we have the voicemail. I'll post that number up again. I don't remember it off the top of my dome.
860-342-8711.
Hey, there we go. If I've pissed you off,
sir.
There we go, Joe. If I or Joe have pissed you off this episode, please let us know. Leave it on the hotline. Leave it in the comments. Follow us. I'll pitch you off shortly on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. pitchyouoffshortly.com. Go ahead, grab you some merch. We got those hoodies, the Yep, That's Racist hoodies, and the I'll pitch you off shortly hoodies, as long as the shirts. Yeah, I think that's about it. Definitely use code Pissed Off 15 for all of our listeners tonight if you want to go ahead and copy some merch. And also check out clovercrestmedia.com, where you will see where you'll see all of our other podcasts. Hey, Eric, I see you out there giving out exclusives. Don't give out exclusives. Eric almost tried to give out an exclusive thing. So, but hey, make sure you check me and other podcasts out, part of the Clovercrest Media Group family. I'm Rob Benjamin. This is Joe Aguirre. Joe, do you have anything for the people?
No, I'm glad I didn't upset any of your friends tonight. At least we'll have to check the voicemail tomorrow to find out.
Hey, so we're actually gonna have Chris on the episode, which is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna get Chris.
For that.
It's gonna be
my last interaction with Chris was him basically challenging me. So
yes, no,
how that plays out.
I've talked to Chris. Chris, it's all love, and he's excited to be on the episode. Once I get his stuff situated, we're gonna have him, and I think that it's gonna. He's one of those conservatives that I'm like, I gotta stop killing, because he's one of those conservatives that's like super pro-black, but he's like. He has, and
I get it.
He just has certain, beliefs, but he's just like, all right, so I get it, but he's open. He's always willing to learn, listen, and be understanding. So that's why I give him a little bit more slack than others. But as well as check him on some bullshit, and as much as he checks me on bullshit as well. So it's fun. It's good to have one of those friends, and I think that's why he's one of my best friends, and I consider him my brother, because he knows when he's wrong, he knows when he's right, and then we can also still respect each other enough to love each other for what it is and see past all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So if you have one of those, hold on to them tight. It's been nice, you guys. I gave you guys 2 hours. We missed the episode, so hopefully this makes up. Catch us next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll pitch you out shortly. Good night.
One day. I will get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Pitch You Up Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you.